Hello, everybody. A very warm welcome and good evening. And welcome to our series of Talking Fingers, Volume 2 Voices of Indian Non Speaking Autistic. And I'm Sushma Tripathi joining from Mumbai. And today we are joined by an amazing mother daughter duo, Aarti ma'am, Aarti Khurana, and Amrit. And they'll be here shortly. And today they are here to talk about changing the narrative about autism and how to take it forward. About Aarti ma'am, I would like to share something about her. And, it takes immense courage to go through a journey of being a parent for a child who is on spectrum, but because she was into the education sector, she's an educator herself with an extensive experience of 23 years. She has seen the times changing, she has seen the education system and the mindset evolving as she navigated her journey along with Amrit. And she always believed that she had all the support of Amrit, otherwise it was not possible to reach where they are today. Amrit is a celebrated artist, and she's also one of the co-authors of the Talking Fingers Volume 2. She feels, she's very much vocal about what she feels, whether it is autism, whether it is about life, whether it is about anything, and that is reflected in the writings and in her journey. If you, go and observe her artwork, go and observe what she writes. And that also has been, possible because being the mother, the strength of, for Amrit, they both have been very vocal and advocating about the awareness, about inclusivity, and about how to recognize the opportunities that comes along with the challenge. How to see that there will be a triumph if you work through the trial. And that is how I would like to sum up their journey. Welcome, Aarti ma'am. Welcome, Amrit. So good to have you both here today.
Thank you so much, Sushma, and thank you to Talking Fingers for having us here for this Facebook Live today. I think it's our honor and our privilege.
The pleasure is all ours, and we are eagerly waiting, and our audience will be waiting to hear more from you. And first of all, let me tell you, you both look adorable. You both look so cute. So, Aarti ma'am, I would like to begin from the very beginning, and I want you to share, how much ever you can share extensively about your journey so far with Amrit.
So I think I'll go into flashback, and uh, this begins when I first held Amrit on 8th August 1993, and she being my firstborn, a very cuddly, chubby looking child, golden hair, and very, very bubbly, lively. Uh, I remember her taking on to, music very early on. And there was a particular song, Ilu Ilu. I don't know if this generation even knows that, but I remember that particular song, especially because she used to really, smile and be so joyful with that song, and perhaps would, kind of hum it along. But anyways, as is with all parents who deal with children on the spectrum, we soon realized that something was amiss, and that began the journey with autism. And hailing from a small town like Dehradun, we had never heard about autism. We didn't know what differently abled means. Um, so, alongside, as I put her into a playgroup school, and the school was not able to understand, and we were not able to figure out, we were asked to withdraw her from school. And I realized that if I stepped into uh, the school education system, perhaps my child would have a chance at a so-called normal childhood. And so I looked for a job, and I put her in the same school. But it was quite challenging because every time there would be prospective parents on campus, we had to hide her, because amongst all the well-behaved, well-dressed children, there was this child with hair open, no shoes, no socks, running helter-skelter, and with awkward behavior and mannerisms. Uh, but because we did not know how to figure that out, the we just kind of trudged along until one day I just happened to chance upon an article in a newspaper which mentioned the word autism, and it had a bullet list of points that were specific to children with autism. And when I looked at those points, I realized that Amrit checked all the points. And then I got this term, autism, and equipped with that term, I once again started doing the rounds of doctors and hospitals, but nobody had ever heard about it. And doctors, in fact, advised us to get MRI scans, and they uh, they referred us to various hospitals in Lucknow, in Delhi, and we were everywhere. It was much later that we once again chanced upon Action for Autism by Mary, and that obviously opened doors to a entire new world. And for the first time, I felt as if somebody understood and somebody was not judging Amrit, and that there was a world where there were children who were similar to her. In fact, there was an entire spectrum of children, and I would say an entire spectrum of parents too. So there were parents who came from very small towns and cities, and there were parents who were from the metros, and some were aware, some were not aware. However, once this, this awareness came along, uh, it led to acceptance. And once acceptance came in, the world changed for us. Uh, I'm summing it up. Of course, the journey has taken so long, but acceptance and awareness, it just, worked together for us. And in that space, uh, both of us grew and both of us learned to accept each other.
It is lovely, like you said, that you are one team together, working together, with a goal and with a mindset which has evolved over the years. Like, from the very beginning, when you said you hadn't heard about the term, what exactly autism is, and, from then to knowing it through a magazine where, it was written, and then reaching out to the professionals, whosoever was available, then connecting with Merrim. So there are so many, steps and, milestones which you have covered as a team together. So, and that is, what we see today. Amrit being one of the co-authors, I think that is a testament to the all that effort that went behind, and, over the years as a parent and as a team together. So I think, kudos to you both for being there for each other and working together as a team. And ma'am, like you said that, when you heard it first time, you had never, like, you never knew that something like this is there, it exists. And now when you see, Amrit being a young adult and also being one of the co-authors with Talking Fingers, the book, how this whole talking finger thing happened for you, for Amrit, and what does it changed for you, as a parent, and also for her as an individual, because she's a young adult now, she has her perspective developing, so how things changed for both of you.
So Sushma, Talking Fingers it's an experience which is unlike any other. And until that happened, I had no idea that Amrit was able to articulate herself in the way that she did. Thanks to Padma, she reached out to us, and being a fellow parent, sharing a similar journey like us, the connection is much more deeper, and it's much more authentic. So when Padma reached out to us and explained about Talking Fingers, I knew about Talking Fingers once, but I didn't know that it was a possibility for us. So when she reached out to us with the second volume, I was ecstatic. Uh, And I don't know, I mean, Amrit doesn't really express so much, but I explained to her and I got the book and I, shared some excerpts of the book with her. And um, once I explained the questions to her, and there was this beautiful, kind of space where Amrit could choose the questions that she wanted to respond to, and there was no kind of pressure.
Yeah.
It was a flexible platform, and once I explained the questions, it really changed my perspective about Amrit and her understanding of the so-called world around her. Because to my surprise, she was able to type the responses and uh, okay.
You're
So
audible,
so
ma'am.
so
There is
when
some
once she
technical
started
glitch.
typing the responses, I figured that she was able to really understand. Am I audible?
Ma'am, you're audible, but you're not visible. So there are some, I
Am I
think,
audible, Sushma?
yes, ma'am, you're audible, very much audible, but you're not visible. So I think there is some technical issue.
Uh,
So
I'm not sure if I'm audible.
you are audible, ma'am. Maybe you can log in again. And yeah,
Okay, just
so
it will take me a second. Let
yeah,
me. भैया बहुत.
yeah. Maybe you can, log in again in case you want to.
Is this better? Am I visible now?
Yes, yes, you are very much visible.
Okay. So back to Talking Fingers and how it changed things about our world. So through Talking Fingers and through this whole exercise of understanding questions and responding to them, I have come to realize that I've always underestimated my daughter and her, understanding and articulation of her experiences. I've always relied and have come to I think I had come to believe that there would be fragmented sentences, and at the most, she'll be able to communicate her needs. But this really, really opened my eyes. It came like the most beautiful surprise to me that, oh, well, you know, as any other parent would, I underestimate my child, but she never fails to surprise me with who she is, what is her individuality, what is her take on such, complex questions. Uh,
Yeah,
and that really led to an excitement in the family also. And we went overboard by giving her so many questions and expecting her to type those responses until one day she just wrote, no, no, I'm not going to be a plaything for you all. So yes, we respect her choices now better. And it's all thanks to Talking Fingers that we now know that, of course, she understands it all, and there is a way that she will respond to those, stimulus around her.
yeah. And like you mentioned that she doesn't, she's a girl with few words, and those few words are like most of the times, profound and like bang on. And I can read out, and it will give a sense also to our viewers also. So there's in chapter 7, and the question is, what do you like best about yourself? And Amrit says, my smile. I like to laugh and rock. And this is so much, this speaks so much about how she sees it, and how she sees herself. And there's one thing, I would also like to read here. This question in chapter 3: do you feel that autism is a part of who you are, or is it something that needs to be changed? And Amrit, in her style, says, I'm proud to be autistic, no change. I'm autistic artist Amrit Khurana, and we so love this artist and her work and her voice. And but like you've mentioned that coming in touch with Padma ma'am and working along with Talking Fingers, made you also realize or understand that this is how she's emoting or sharing her thoughts. Now, ma'am, if we see Amrit now being a young adult right now, when you see her or other young adults also, in your circle, what do you think, or what is your thought about companionship for young adults on spectrum? Because this is something which we have been touching as a point every now and then through our conversations, because this is something which needs to be discussed and needs to be talked about both by the parent and by the community as well. So what are your thoughts on that?
Sushma, thank you so much for bringing to fore such a sensitive and, I would say, uncomfortable topic, because most of us shy away from, uh, this particular aspect of our children. Uh, so, as soon as Amrit hit puberty, the first thing that baffled me was how to teach her about personal hygiene, managing her periods. And I read a lot about it. I talked to various specialists, but I realized very soon that I need to model it. I have to really overcome my own barriers, my own discomfort as an adult woman, modeling such a private and intimate aspect of our lives. But I realized that nobody else will do it, and so I took it upon myself to do it. And I must share this with all parents that we cannot close our eyes to the needs of our children as they grow. uh, as young adults, they will pass through teenage, they will pass through puberty, and just like other children, they will have similar hormonal changes, in fact, much more. And we need to brace ourselves and we need to somewhere, accept that yes, this is happening and not feel uncomfortable. Uh, I'm not denying the fact that I had to, sometimes model her behavior also. But that's all part of the process, like we would do with other children. She had her own infatuations, crushes. Every time that happened, I would make sure that I reach out to the person on whom she was having that crush, whether it was a teenage boy or a younger adult or an adult, and explain it to them that it's not about you personally, and if at all it makes you feel awkward or it makes you feel uncomfortable, please reach out to me because I'm here to support. And I made them feel that this is normal, this is natural. The only difference is that perhaps people on the spectrum do not know how to hide it like others. Their emotions, their expressions are much more there. They're just there, and they do not know how to do it otherwise. So it's interesting, Sushma, and I'm really grateful to the community around me, the schools where I work, because that is the space where I would credit the community fully, who have come around and have never made Amrit feel awkward about herself and her autism. It has taken a lot of sensitization, both for children, for adults, for support staff people, because of course, in her mind, there's no such distinction that this is a support staff person or this is a teacher or this is a student. But I have tried to explain this to her. At the same time, I have definitely sensitized the community, and I've somewhat realized that it's okay to hold no bars there and to speak about it. It's better to understand and to shape our responses around these topics than just hush them because they won't go away. I also do a lot of regulatory exercises with Amrit, trying to teach her safety first and foremost, and second, also trying to teach her about other people's responses. So for her, if she wants to, and I'm just going a little bit in detail because this might help parents who have children in the same age bracket. Uh, Whenever she has a kind of a fondness for a particular person, she wants to go and greet and meet that person often. And because I'm in a school education system, it disrupts classes also. So herein I step firmly and I make sure that Amrit understands that there is a particular time to do it and there is a particular way to do it that is not distracting or disrupting. So we have created these small exercises wherein early in the morning before teachers move into their classes, there is that window where she can go and say hello and meet and greet. But after that, she knows, and I've so that is where I sensitize the other people also that we cannot, really encourage disruption also. We are all professionals. And at the same time, we cannot disregard her, uh, emotions and her feelings. So strike a balance, and that is the way forward. Uh, yeah, and there are several aspects to it, but of course,
I think, like you mentioned, this is something which is not talked often about, but is so important because, irrespective of the condition or the situation, every human being would go through that phase because that is how you age. And as you grow, your body and your mind also, tend to follow a certain pattern. And rightfully said so, ma'am, that while you are setting guidelines and explaining Amrit, and she is also cooperating with you, it is so important for the society and the community to know about it. And what you have been doing is, talking as openly you can to the people, so that it should not create a barrier as such for her and for you also and for the community also, because it can become such a sensitive topic. Later on it will become so jumbled that you cannot address it the way you want to. And I really feel that this is something that every parent has to take a note, and we have to approach it like you said. You cannot hush it away. You have to take it forward in a very right mindset. Then only you can help your child. So, again, kudos to you. And, I'm just, admiring Amrit sitting so quietly. And I'm just like, I just feel like pulling her cheek. So we have few comments here, few messages for you both. So Padma ma'am is here and she says, Amrit is an amazing artist and is blessed with a lovely family. And we so agree to it. And Rashmi is here. Rashmi, so she says, so nice to see both mother and daughter. Yes, Rashmi, so nice to see them together, sitting, smiling. And, talking about the Talking Fingers book, for the readers who would, grab the book and take a look of it, what is that maybe the key message which you think the reader would take away from the book? So, what do you think is that key message?
I think for readers, naive, ignorant readers like me, I consider myself so naive. First of all, I think the title is so brilliant, Talking Fingers. I mean, ever since I, grabbed the first volume, I have always marveled at the nomenclature of the book. It is so it beautifully encapsulates, uh, the way our children communicate with the world. So that one key message that I think all of us can take away is that communication is not limited to words only. Communication is so much more. And in fact, our nonverbal children communicate and articulate far better than all of us with so many useless words. I always feel that when Amrit paints, she never uses erasers. She just, you know, picks up the pencil and with one stroke and with just few lines, she is able to communicate the emotion. And I feel that is what, our children do the best. That with fewer words, they're able to communicate such profound ideas and profound messages that we, with so many words, so called so many words, we need to really, sit back and listen. So I feel that is one key message, at least for me, that was how I felt reading each contributor's response to the questions. I I think it's salute to them.
Yeah, salute to them. And yes, hoping our readers will have a lot of takeaways and something like you said, communication doesn't need a particular medium or a set medium. There are ways to communicate, and our kids have been doing wonderfully. So, big round of applause for all the kids and all the parents who have been working together, in this journey. That brings me to my next question to you, ma'am. Like you said, when it all started, you were noticing something, but you didn't know what it is. And then, you read about it and became aware. Then it must have taken you time to accept. Now it is, very easy to say, but yes, you might have taken your own time. From there, getting that awareness, accepting the fact and how, the situation is in front of you, to now advocating about it through through your talks, through her work also, through Amrit's work also, how you think that this whole process has changed you or evolved you as a parent.
Sushma, I think the biggest takeaway for me as a mother is that parenting is not about the adults teaching their children. Because today, when I sit here and I talk to you, my entire journey, I would sum it up as like you said, a teamwork. And in this process, I think I have learned so much from my child. The whole idea of forgiveness, the idea of unconditional love, the idea of patience, accepting each other for who you are, with all your faults, with all your, quirks and everything. I mean, I would say I'm the least perfect mother because I was a very young mother when I held Amrit in my hands, and together we have had our share of meltdowns, the screaming and the shouting and the cursing, and that doesn't make me feel proud at all. But while all this was happening, every day I understood that this child of mine with whom I'm having these meltdowns, she is far more understanding of our situation than I was. So I think it just dispelled all my stereotypical understandings about parenting. That since I'm the adult, since I am the mother, I know it all, and my child has to, just follow my instructions. No, it has been the other way around. Through her, I have learned that there is it's like it's a teamwork because I've become a first time parent with her only, and she's become a first time child with me only. So we both go hand in hand and together, forgiving each other for the mistakes and learning from each other, respecting each other for their strengths, and accepting the flaws that both of us have.
Yeah.
I think that's the evolution that I can sit back and talk about today, but it's taken us 30 years to reach here.
Yeah.
Uh, it's not it doesn't happen in a day, and I think as parents we somewhere need to understand that each child has its own path, and each child comes with their own destiny. So-called mainstream education never made sense to Amrit, and math, science, these subjects didn't make any sense to her. So I just decided that I'm not going to torture her, and I'm not going to torture the system in trying to teach her something that doesn't hold value for her. So I withdrew her from mainstream education after grade 8
Mm.
and just focused on her art journey. And while I'm not saying this is the right thing to do, uh, all I'm saying is each one of us has unique, uh, you know, strengths, and let us just foster that. Let us focus on what is the best for us as a family. Perhaps that will work.
Beautifully put up. I think, knowing it all, rather than, thinking that, yes, I know it all because I'm a parent. It always works when you keep, looking for and keep exploring till you find the right way or the right path. We have few, messages from our viewers, which I'll like to read out for you. Rashmi adds here that, understanding your child is a key, and you have understood and acknowledged it. Yes, that is so right. You have understood and acknowledged, and that is why you have been able to work together, and for Amrit and for yourself also. Padma Ramani ma'am says, she's watching the session and she's very happy to listen to this conversation, where you're sharing your journey as a mother and your relation with your daughter and her journey. Padma, ma'am, she agrees our children have made us better persons, and we are fortunate to have them in our lives. All hearts to this thought of Padma ma'am and yours as well, and all the parents who are associated with Talking Fingers, and our parents also, the who have been our strength from the time we have started this campaign, this drive. um, Ma'am, like you mentioned that I rather chose to learn through what Amrit has to say. When we see her art journey, uh, you might have tried 10 things and maybe one thing would have worked out. So if you could share about it, because the reason why I'm asking is, we as parents, that a lot of times we keep experimenting, keep exploring, and that is all right. But as a parent, when you share your experience, it also helps somebody who might be going through the same journey, and still figuring out that कि क्या काम करेगा, ये नहीं करेगा, क्या करना चाहिए. So if you could share about the art journey.
Sushma, I'm going to begin by saying, like I said, I'm the most ignorant and naive mother that one can find because I never took a second look at her drawings. In fact, I was just forced by my colleagues where I work that your daughter is doing some amazing work and she's perhaps trying to communicate something to you. And it was even then I couldn't understand anything. I just saw birds and you know landscapes and grass and huts and all that, and I never could find. I would say I never really found the patience to uh, delve deeply into what she was doing because there were so many other aspects that you get involved with when you're parenting a child with autism, that the least of it is that you are paying attention to what the child is engaging with. So the similar thing happened, but then I was forced to look into her work. And yes, I did realize then that there was something, but it still never occurred to me that it was meritorious or something exceptional. Till some art masters they told me that if you want to support your child, the one thing that you should remember is do not train her because this is her natural self, and with training it will all go away. So I just held on to that one piece of advice that I was given. Alongside, I also discovered that our children, they perhaps they hold the pencil or the paintbrushes with too much force. So I understood what kind of mediums will work for her, and I made sure that she could move forward with that. One thing I've always refrained from is imposing my ideas or even advising because I'm the least artistic person. So I just feel that inside she might be laughing at my ignorance and thinking if she could say that, Mama, just stay away like others would do. But of course, she's a gentle one. But I do not advise. And many people have told me, oh, her line is like this, or maybe you could just tell her. But I've always held against that. And I think that has given her the confidence to shape her own artistic style. it has evolved. It has really, really evolved. And it has also evolved with age, with exposure to the art world, exposure to the works of the masters. We do a lot of rounds of different kinds of exhibitions. So, getting exposed to styles of different artists. And also, uh, over the years, this is how I have understood that I keep the material ready. So different sizes of papers, different kinds of colors, pencils, uh, canvases, different shapes and different sizes. It's all laid out in an orderly manner so that she can immediately pick up whenever she feels like. And whenever she feels the need to do it, she wants me to set up her table, which has a particular order. And therefore, I often laugh to her that when I put something on your Instagram, people will see the same table cover and they might think that, her mother doesn't have any other choice. They might see the same pencils laid out in the same manner. But that's perhaps the beauty of it all, that in that routine, she manages to create, unroutinely kind of art pieces.
Yeah.
Um, I would also tell people, uh, so yes, there is something like your child is engaged with art. However, it may not always turn out to be a commercial venture. I never looked at it with those eyes, unless again I was forced by my fellow colleagues to hold a solo exhibit of her works. And I still feel that she's way too young to, be called an artist of sorts, because she's still learning. She's still finding her way. She's still experimenting with her style, with the medium and everything. And all I can do to support her is give her right exposure. I have done several, rounds of galleries and group shows and everything. One thing I realized was that the moment people understand that this is an artist with some kind of a disability, the perspective changes. In the commercial arena, people want us to really price their works very low because they think that perhaps it's a favor that
Yeah.
they're buying the artwork. I have stood against that, and I just feel that along our journey in the art world, somewhere I understood that it's important to reach out to varied audience. So I've done that. I have invested my time and my focus and energy in, in reaching out to different kinds of people in different parts of the world. Blatantly, shamelessly, I've repeatedly written to people or, approached them. Uh, I've kind of forced them to take notice of Amrit's work and her style. And this is something that as parents, we should really do, because otherwise, nobody will take notice. Uh, but at the same time, I am also very grateful to the support of the parents in the autism community who vouch for each other, who are the support systems that we always fall back on. They are the pillars of strength. And, this community is one where there is only healthy competition and only love and warmth for each other. And I think somewhere I now do not even crave for the neurotypical world. I'm very, very happy that our neurodivergent world is with us and stands there to support us. And that I think I now take it as a blessing, because really telling you, we do not need so many people. A handful of people who are with us on this journey are enough to tide us
Yes.
through. So don't get stressed. Don't feel that there is a competition and there's a space for competitiveness. This is our child's journey. We are just facilitators here. And if our children, someday put their brushes down, be it so.
Yeah. Be it so. Beautifully put up, ma'am. So I had my son here, so he needed something, so I was like quickly went and came back. So sorry for that. One last thing I would want you to address. Being a journey of 30 years, as you say, when there was very little knowledge about what autism is, and in the city like Dehradun, to now when you see the journey and when you might be meeting new parents also. So, what is that one message you want to give to those new parents who are, you might also feel that they are in a world where knowledge is still, it is very much there, which was not there that time. So, what is that one message you want to give them, to the parents and also to the professionals, because you have your share of experiences with the professionals. And then, what is that one thing you want to, convey to the community?
To the parents, I would say be kind to yourself too. While we are doing the best that we can with our, limited knowledge and in our limited sphere, all of us. So pat yourself on the back often. Take time for yourself. Do things that you enjoy. Uh, Life is not just about sacrificing it all uh, for an individual, because unless you are happy, believe me, your child will not be happy. And another very, very important thing I want to tell all parents is not all people on the spectrum have a special talent. Just like in a neurotypical world, not everybody is a 100% aggregate scorer. So, in the world of neurodivergence, not everybody will have some special strength. Don't beat yourself about it, trying to find that one thing, you know, which will make some kind of a difference to your life. I don't think our children are looking or craving for recognition. I think it is us, the parents, the so-called, you know, mortals of this world who are looking for that recognition somewhere. This is no statement that we need to push ourselves towards. Uh, it is something like, yeah, they are part of our world, our existence. They are our children, and we are the parents. I think it should just be about that. After that, if there's something, do nurture it.
Yeah.
Uh, Again, in that nurturing, don't make it like a mission in your life, because it may happen, it may not happen. Enjoy this journey. It's really, really beautiful. And when I say that, I understand that, looking at Amrit sitting here so calmly and patiently might feel like a wondrous thing. But I have to tell you, she's 30 years old, and she's come a long way through different kinds of, behavioral challenges. And it's not always this rosy. Every day we have our own fair share of uh, challenges, meltdowns, tantrums. All of those come as a package. But the only thing is, I've learned to train my responses.
Mm.
I cannot change her behavior, but I can change my response to that behavior. And I'm not always 100% doing it right.
Yeah.
Uh, there are still days when I just become Aarti Khurana, not Amrit's mother. uh, so, so just be kind to yourself. It's a long journey. We are life partners here, and like I always tell everyone, Amrit is my lifelong companion. So while there may be days when I might be able to brush off a certain irritant behavior, there are days when I'm not able to do that. So there is a reaction. But because she's forgiving, I have learned to be kind to myself. And also along this journey, whenever she gets an appreciation, I tell everyone, but I need and deserve that appreciation too, because I am the manager. While the artist may just, create a stroke of a brush and create a masterpiece, the one cleaning those brushes and filling those water is me.
Yeah.
So it is a partnership. So I think all parents need to understand that. and just take time out for your own well-being also.
Lovely. We have, before I move ahead, I'll just quickly read out the messages we have pouring in. So, Dr. Surbi Bajaj, she says, love your honest approach, Aarti ji. And Rashmi again is here with, she has a message. Learning never stops, getting better never stops. And as a mother, you are providing all the opportunities for your child. Appreciate your outlook on Amrit's artwork. Nina Girish, she's here. She says, "Love your spirits." And yes, we truly love your spirits because what you have discussed right now is what has been there, with no filters. Like there are days when you are not in your right frame of mind, and then there will be days where you are all charged up and geared up. Ki, आज तो जंग जीत लेंगे ऐसा. So, so kudos to you and, so to Amrit also for being so patiently sitting there and, so yeah. Lovely to see Amrit here listening to the whole conversation. You can unmute, ma'am. It's mute. Yeah. So, so lovely to have you, Reet here. And, like you said that, but the idea behind this conversation was changing the narrative, on autism and about its awareness. And what you have shared just now, like you mentioned, it's a long journey and you have just briefed it up for, our viewers. And I'm sure that those who will be watching it now or later, or will be, coming back here and listening to you, would always have something to be taken away and follow up in their lives as well. Like you said, there will be, everybody will have a different journey. So do not feel that, somebody's being in this path, so I have to also follow the same path. And you have been quite vocal about what went wrong, what worked for you. And I'm sure that is going to help our viewers and all our parents. So thank you so much, Aarti ma'am, for giving your valuable time on a weekday eve, and lots of love to Amrit for being there, patiently sitting and supporting you and everybody here. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Sushma, and thank you to Dr. Shivali and to Padma for creating these platforms where we can talk talk about things and be candid and be ourselves, and you know because there is no scripted thing to say here. It is a heart-to-heart talk with fellow parents, uh, and I really hope and pray that all of us are able to really find peace within ourselves. Uh, Autism will not go anywhere. Um it is part and parcel of our life. It may seem so cliche and so easy to talk about it like this, with all the challenges, minute to minute challenges that we as parents face on a day to day basis. So I think all of us are champions, and all of us need to applaud ourselves for doing it so well. So much love to everybody here, and a big thank you and a big shout out to Talking Fingers.
Yeah, a big shout out to Talking Fingers, all the parents and our lovely kids, Padma ma'am, and everybody who has come up together to make it work. And yes, it's still there's a lot of love pouring in for Amrit. Nina, she's sending her love and blessings for Amrit. Rashmi says, cheers to this partnership. And yes, we so echo with this. Yes, cheers to this partnership. And it's so good to see somebody working so working on a right path and bringing out something, and taking out their time to work on. Like you said, you are a very naive parent, but that is not true. You have really worked hard, and so hats off to you. And lots of love to Amrit also. To our viewers, thank you so much for being there with us, joining us week after week, session after sessions. And this series of Talking Figures will continue with more parents, more kids coming on board, sharing their journey, talking about the awareness about autism and how being associated with Talking Fingers or coming in touch with the Talking Fingers family has changed the narrative for them also. So stay tuned for more such upcoming series, and thank you so much for being there. It's me, Sushma, signing off for today. See you. Bye bye.